So here we are, Will, in Koh Samui. How's it feeling?
Yeah, amazing. This island is absolutely beautiful, although it is slightly inconvenient. That's okay, you make do.
Yeah, so we've come here for the weekend. We're obviously living in Chiang Mai at the moment, but come to visit Koh Samui because of the apparent scenery. Little did we know that booking the mountain view also comes with the mountain climb, which is absolutely a nightmare. But here we are. And yeah, I don't think I could live on an island. Living on an island is not the one, is it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, obviously, you want convenience, don't you, in things? And like, when you have to drive down a mountain just to be able to get a taxi, it does create inconveniences, doesn't it, really? But the view is beautiful.
None of the taxis want to come up the hill. You got to walk all the way down to get a taxi, which is an absolute nightmare. But anyway, not many of you will know Will. Maybe some of you will. He's a widely recognised figure on the internet. But yeah, do you want to talk about your story, a bit about you when you were 16, all that sort of thing,
Yeah.
so everyone can get a bit of a better understanding?
Yeah, of course. Growing up, I always went to the gym. I started going to the gym quite young. I played a lot of rugby growing up. So I ended up smashing the gym for 3-4 years alongside the rugby. And obviously it got to a point where I was champion powerlifter in the UK for my age and my weight, which is really strong. So obviously on bench press, my squat's probably not as good, but we try and look at the positives, don't we? Yeah, so at the moment, obviously I've stopped playing rugby. I'm at uni now in Manchester. Obviously broke uni student, scraping by, but yeah, luckily enough, we've managed to find something and build something and yeah, really progress that to a point now where we can sit in a hillside villa in Koh Samui.
Lovely. And in terms of that sort of next step then, so obviously you were British champion bench press at 16, which is absolutely crazy. And then you were into rugby, stopped rugby, went to uni, and then what was happening start of uni, middle of uni that made you realise that you wanted to have a bit more for yourself than the standard person?
Yeah. So I think university is a very weird thing because obviously you don't study the whole time. You're left with a lot of free time. And obviously when you're left with free time, living with your friends in a big city, things can definitely go sideways pretty quick. So it's the reality of the matter. I wanted to find something where I could dedicate my time and spend time sort of building something and really working towards something instead of just feeling lost, really. I think that's the really key thing with my sort of journey with university is I don't mind studying, but I'm definitely not an academic. It's not my strong suit. So I wanted to find basically the best way to spend my free time, essentially. That wasn't obviously enjoying the big city too much.
Yeah, 100%. And with me, I had the exact same thing. Like when I was at uni, you just have so much additional free time. So I was only in uni for 2-3 days of the week, and those days that I was in, I'd maybe have one or two full days. I can't even remember now, but 1 or 2 full days, and then the rest of the week you're just doing naff all, really. So there's a lot of spare time to try and create that future for yourself. Especially what I noticed was that I had a lot of pressure before I left uni to do something after uni. It was like, there's a bit of a build-up. It's like you done your school, you done the college, and then you go to uni, and then after uni it's like, all right, now I need to like buckle down, get a career, all that sort of stuff. And it's a bit daunting because it's like what you've been working up towards and stuff like that. And for me, I always wanted to have a bit more freedom, right? Doing the 9 to 5, being in like an office, being told what to do. It's like, it's not the sort of environment I wanted to be in, and I think a lot of people go through the same sort of thing, like in uni and their final year and that sort of thing, where like you get a bit more pressure and you want to find something to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I definitely had that same thing. Going into obviously doing uni, got plans to do stuff after uni. How did we meet, and what sort of led you on the path to obviously getting involved in what we're doing?
Yeah. So I have a few friends that are in the online space currently and making money online, and it's something that was always quite attractive to me because obviously the freedom aspect is really life-changing. Like we're sat in Koh Samui currently, it really is life-changing. The ability to make money and fund a lifestyle from anywhere in the world. Yeah. So obviously that was always appealing, but I think the idea of building something was also always really appealing. Obviously, having some friends in the online space, I always try to ask around and make my way. And then, of course, I met Roman. I started off as a DM setter, actually, so applying to be a DM setter. Progressed into SDR, progressed into closing, and now obviously I'm helping manage a team of setters as well, which is really great.
Nice. And in terms of that journey then, like what was the core sort of mindset shift for you to look for something different other than like what everyone else does, like going into the corporate world, that sort of thing? Like what like was the sort of like that moment in your mind where you thought I want something like a little bit different?
Yeah, so I think that's a really good question, because I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with working a 9 to 5, with the corporate world, with finance, whatever it might be. But obviously, I think people have different objectives and different priorities. The idea for me of working 9 to 5, or obviously, as you guys know, working crazy hours in a like investment banking office or in any sort of finance job, and just being sat behind a desk all day in a sort of small office in London doesn't sound appealing. Do you know what I mean? There's more to the world, and there's more opportunity there. And obviously, I do also think it's important to bear in mind with the corporate world that it's so easy to just plateau and make yourself comfortable. And once you're comfortable, it's so difficult to then progress. Yeah. I think this space especially, and being out here, and you're always chasing. And I think that's really key.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think that sort of lifestyle is very outdated now. I think it's quite clear that there's so much more that's possible for your life, and it's very achievable. I remember when I was younger, I always dreamed of like living in a foreign country, being able to work online, do whatever I want, but it just seems so like blurry on like the path to getting there. And I think from what you've said, you obviously had some friends that was in the space, and then how did that spark your interest? Were you just talking to them about it? They gave you like, okay, I'm in this community. Is that what it was? Or?
Yeah. So I think the really key thing with that, with my friends being in the space, is it was just a window of opportunity. Yeah. So I was able to catch a glimpse of what life could look like working online. Obviously, a lot of my friends are still at university working online, but they're able to travel and they're able to do things that any other normal uni student wouldn't. Yeah. So obviously, when you get a glimpse of that, and it's something you want to work towards, I had that feeling. It really lit a match, and so to speak, and got me excited to work online, and got me excited to sort of look for opportunities and find a way in and find a path in. Because I do think, obviously, the industry is very blurred. It is definitely very blurred. It's difficult to cave that path, but obviously working with Roman, it's been a pleasure.
I think the lesson in that is that you need to broaden your network.
Completely.
Right? Like having friends who are like in different spaces and stuff like that, it allows you to find your path into different spaces online and whatever you want to do, really. That's a good point, actually. If you're just stuck in your room, just working 24/7, you never actually take the time to go out and meet other people, then you end up in a situation where you don't really learn different things. It's like the unknown unknowns. It's like you don't even know what you don't know because you're so stuck in, or you'll get out there, meet people who are like in the places that you want to be, because they're going to be able to forge a path for you or give you the path to where you want to go. So seek out those people who are further ahead than you in the space that you want to go. Follow them, even book a flight to go see them, like Will has done here. He's taken a risk on coming out here. Obviously, we're paying him to work online and develop his skills and stuff like that, but he took a risk on coming out here, and now he's getting the mindsets of people who are like running a 7-figure, scaling to 8 figures in online business, right? He's getting those insights because he decided to pay that ticket. And it's like, a lot of people will pay for masterminds, a lot of people will pay to go to certain events and stuff like that, but they won't pay £500 to £1,000 to go out and live near people who you aspire to be like, right? I think that's a bit of a hack, and it's like getting the mastermind, but without there being a formal mastermind at the same time, you know? Okay, sweet. And then in terms of joining us, getting involved in what we're doing, what sticks out to you as like points that you've learned, or maybe mindset shifts that you didn't realize were possible just from joining what we're doing? Yeah,
obviously it's been a sort of a strange journey, really, starting off as applying for a DM setting role through Roman's Instagram directly. Obviously from there, progressing onto a sort of trial day, smashing the dialer, and then going on to being an SDR, working in a team, which was really great. I really enjoyed that experience. I think what stands out for me throughout the sort of beginning of the process is you just have to have tenacity, because it's so easy to give up or give yourself a break. But obviously, when you jump on a trial day, you want to show off, you want to impress, obviously, the team. Like, I was on the dialer for 3 hours, connected call time on that trial day. You just have to show people that you want it, right? And then obviously you have to then apply that into the work itself. Once you get your foothold in the scene, it's really key to just keep progressing and keep wanting that progression. I think comfort's definitely the enemy in that regard. Yeah. Obviously from the SDR role, I then progressed onto closing, B2B, which I think was a real game changer for my mindset and obviously the progression of my skills, because it's moving from talking to people on the phone to then having Google Meets and understanding sales and how to progress sales and how to collect cash, which obviously is a really crucial skill to learn. I think that sort of shift in mindset from being on the dialer or even potentially DM setting, and from there really wanting more, to then shifting to encouraging ways to help businesses, it was really key.
I think it's a good point that you make there about tenacity. I would say 80% of the people that we hire is all down to like how much they want it. You would be massively surprised if you're applying for a role or something like that online, or just even in general. The employer is looking for you to stand out in terms of like how much you want it. They're always the best people to hire long term because they're always so bought in, but you need to be bought in and you need to be willing to put the effort in. You need to be willing to really go the extra mile in terms of your effort. And that's the most important thing, especially for sales. If you come across well and you also put a lot of effort in, then I will usually just hire that person 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 times out of 10. For example, if I run a trial day to potentially hire 10 people, the people that I hire, there's virtually no competition. I literally get 10 people on the trial day, 3 of them actually make calls all day, and then maybe 2 of them book some meetings, and then 1 of them is just outweighed everyone else. And why is that? It's usually because, number 1, they come across well, right, which is the most important thing. So just come across well. And then number 2 is just putting the effort in. It's as simple as that. A lot of people overcomplicate it, try to learn tactics. All it is really is just putting in more effort than everyone else is willing to, and you'll be well on your way in terms of getting a role. So obviously with your journey, Will, with us, you started off doing the SDR role, and I moved that pretty quickly into a different team because I saw the potential in you. I think the main thing that I was seeing that was really good, 2 things, is, like I said before, you come across really well and you also put the work in. And I know that if you have those 2 things, then you have the potential to become a closer and do all those sorts of things from that point. So obviously going from the SDR role into the closing role, what do you think you learned? Because obviously put pressure on you to get into that position pretty quickly. What, in that short time frame, what do you feel specifically you learn or had to learn to be able to actually go from, okay, booking a meeting to actually taking cash from someone who's going to buy your service?
Yeah, I think the key with that, especially transitioning into it, is building rapport and finding ways to build rapport and build a relationship with clients. Obviously with us, we aim for long-term partnerships as well, which is important to bear in mind. So it's really key that in those initial steps, whether it's booking that meeting to then progressing it onto sitting the meeting itself, you just have to build rapport and have to build that relationship. And obviously that comes from obviously coming across well, being able to articulate and describe the service very well. But you also have to build that relationship. People have to understand that you're willing to put the work in to be able to work with you, if that makes sense. Because no one's going to work with someone who they can't see is happy to put the work in, if that makes sense. So I think it was a real shift in mindset from obviously going from setting the meeting to just getting that meeting set, but then looking to help people on the call and looking to understand their businesses. And from there, showing them that I'm happy to put the work in to help you guys out. And obviously understanding their pain points as well was really key for me. And then how we can shift that onto progressing the sale and then working with clients long term.
100%. I think there's a real big shift from going from an SDR to closing. And it's not too big of a gap as long as you come across well. And you're obviously willing to put the work in. Advice to anyone else out there who is looking to progress within their role, within their business, etc. It's usually just mindset shifts. It's usually just saying, okay, I want to be in this position. What does it take to be in this position? And actually going for it. Right, it's the same thing that Elon Musk did, right? When he was going to build SpaceX, he had no idea how he was going to build a rocket, right? He was trying to go to suppliers for materials and stuff like that from the big suppliers, and there's not many suppliers as well, so they can charge whatever they want in terms of materials. But what he actually did was he actually broke down, okay, I need these parts to build a rocket, and he couldn't afford to buy the parts from the main suppliers. So what he did was he figured out what the components of the parts are. What are the actual metals that go into the supplies and everything like that. And he just got shitloads of copper, loads of steel, and just started fusing it together to make the parts that people were charging him ridiculous amounts for. You just have to take that perspective of the position that you want to be in and then just take actions towards getting there. First principles thinking is really key. Now, obviously, before you got into the online space and started making money online, so to speak, and traveling around the world and knowing that this is possible, did you have those self-limiting beliefs around it being possible and you being able to do this sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I think because the industry can be blurred in some aspects, especially with what you see online, whether it's through Instagram or whatever it might be, I think it's very easy to fall into the belief that, okay, this isn't possible, everything doesn't look quite right, something's obviously going on. You know what I mean? I think it's clear to have that it's very fair even to potentially have that sort of view starting out. But like you say, you just have to take action.
Yeah.
If you're putting yourself out there and you're putting yourself in positions where you're able to have conversations with people that are succeeding in the online space and are making money, then obviously you can see the sort of clarity, right? You can see the clarity and it draws a path for you into whatever you want to do. The key is obviously just putting yourself out there, understanding the space, and then just taking action, taking that first step.
100%. And fast forward to now, how do you think perception changed? And what does that actually mean for your life now that you're able to, make money online, be a part of something that's growing very quickly? And
yeah, so I think it's really great. Just to go back to a point you made earlier, with obviously 9 to 5 and potentially the corporate world as a whole being slightly outdated, I think this is the future now. Mindset's completely shifted. Obviously, we're able to run, or Roman and the team, and obviously they're able to run real businesses from anywhere in the world, which is really the key point. It's not like it's just making money on the online space. This is a real business which is taken seriously across the world. And I think that's really key, and that really shifted my mindset. When I saw that, okay, there is opportunity to work and build and be a part of a team which is scaling really rapidly. And then obviously to be able to build something that's real and concrete from anywhere in the world is really amazing.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, we literally have a solar company. It's like the most, literally people putting panels on a roof, fit electrics, that sort of thing. It's like the most like old-fashioned sort of, it's not old-fashioned because it's solar technology, but like it takes like construction, and we're doing this from a villa in some island in Thailand, right? It's like absolutely crazy, but the lesson here is that it's possible, right? And you can take your life, completely change it, live from wherever you want, be able to run essentially the most boring sort of business that you can run from anywhere now. That's the case. And you don't have to be boxed into this mindset of, oh, I have to stay where I'm from and this is the only life that I can live, and it's not really possible to do that online stuff. It's very possible, and I think it's becoming quite clear now. So if you're like earlier on in your journey and you're looking at this thinking like, oh, is this possible for me? What do I do? It is very possible, and there's so much you can do. You can do virtually anything, right? One of my good friends, he's literally the coach for private chefs, and yeah, like he's running that from Mexico, got clients all over the world, helping people become private chefs. So that's just to put it into perspective of what you can actually achieve in the online space. Okay, any final words from you, Will? Any recommendations for Roman's coaching?
Yeah, obviously, I wouldn't be here in Koh Samui if I couldn't recommend Roman's coaching. I can't recommend it enough. Do you know what I mean? We're sat in Koh Samui currently with a beautiful pool and a beautiful view of the sea. And this came from that coaching, essentially, and obviously being part of the team and learning to build and learning to shift and adjusting to making money online. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough, clearly.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.